this.
You're watching Watch This. I'm CJ Johnson, joined by Adam Boys and Christie Aucamp-Schutte, who's going to tell us about the new Australian film, The Merger. Christie.
So, CJ, The Merger is an Australian comedy film about a small-town footy coach who must save his team from financial ruin by taking advantage of a government subsidy and recruiting some local refugees.
Smart fellow.
You, as a club, need to decide, merge or fold. You can't just force us into a merger.
What's a merger?
Oh, it's when one shit team joins up with another shit team to make a slightly less shit team.
You can get quadruple your funding by accessing grants to employ refugees for the rebuild.
What good are club rooms if we don't have a team?
These blokes can swing a hammer. I reckon they can kick a footy.
So his team's in a bit of strife.
Yes.
And he finds out about this thing, this money that he can get if he recruits refugees.
Yes, exactly.
And I imagine there's a fair amount of like, wow, aren't we all lovely people?
Well, it's a small town, so you've got the people who are saying, yeah, we've got the refugees, bring them in. And you've got the people who are like, screw the refos.
Right.
The whole film's really about that. It's
Right.
just sort of that tension.
Adam, you've seen the film as well?
Correct, yeah.
What'd you guys think?
Adam, go for it.
We talked about this, on the sly in our private time,
We do.
actually. So the lead...
In your private time.
The lead, he's called Town Killer as a nickname because he's got a history of doing these controversial things within the town, and then this is his latest one.
Controversial greenie protests.
Yeah, greenie protests
like
that closed down the lumber mill.
Yeah,
Oh, right, okay.
yeah, that type of killer, not like...
Right, okay, right.
Killer.
Yeah, you're not a murderer, yeah.
Yeah.
So when the footy club's about to close, they need a new clubhouse, all these things. The local do-gooder, who kind of is the love interest, which also sucks. That her purpose in the film, while she was an advocate for the refugees and obviously one of the more intelligent characters, then had this, again, just a tried and tested dumb romance storyline where she's fallen for the guy because he's good with her kid and all this sort of stuff.
Is that this guy?
That's this guy.
So he's our lead?
He's our lead, but actually, so it's based on a one-man show.
Okay.
So he was, I can't remember who mandated it, but he was sent around to regional Australia to do sort of positive refugee engagement things. So he did a one-man show about this story.
Oh.
The director saw the show and said, that's going to make a great film. We have to make that. And so then they set about writing a screenplay, and then they made this feature.
I'm so glad you told me that, because to me, I haven't seen the film, but to me, to read the synopsis or to hear your synopsis of the film sounds like someone's recipe to get Australian government funding to make a film. Because it's got all these ingredients. It's got sport. There's been a lot of Australian films about sport because we love our sport and we're good at our sport. It's got multiculturalism because we're a multicultural country. And it's got this sort of, this old school sense of Australia being racist, dealing with the new paradigm being multiculturalism, which we've made an awful lot of films about. So it sounds almost like the perfect stew of Aussie film. But to hear that it's actually based on a guy's real experiences negates all of that and makes it have more integrity.
It's not pardon me. It's not based on his real experiences.
Okay.
It's based on a one-man show that he did as part of what you're saying, engage with regional Australia about refugees.
Okay.
I think that he did a lot of consultation, however, with people who had come out of Nauru and then continue to do further consultation and engagement with the community. So there has been genuine engagement.
Okay.
But no, it was this guy doing a one-man show.
I see.
Yeah. Here you go, pal.
He wants to give jobs away to refos who haven't been here 2 minutes.
Local jobs for local. Some people out there don't like what we're doing here.
What are we doing here?
We're rebuilding the footy club.
This isn't a club, it's a joke, mate.
So there's room here for cliche and sentiment, or there's also room for absolute heartbreaking truth and joy.
Oh, it was the first one. It was the former.
Is it trite?
It was a feel-good family movie. It was a feel-good family movie. I think if I was younger, I'd definitely love it. And it was actually quite funny. It was quite funny. I'll give it that. Funny, but it was not very nuanced. It was.
It doesn't sound like
no. It was sugar-coated to hell. You know,
Right.
it was. It was like, oh, we hate the refos. No, the refos are good. Oh, we hate the refos, and they see them play, do good for the team. Maybe we maybe we like the refos, and then they win the blah blah, and it's like, yeah, we love the refo.
Right. I mean, that is the sort of the trouble with it. Like the moment you understand, the moment you hear the synopsis, you know where it's going to go, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, they say the refos thing. That's refugees. That's what they call the refugees.
I've never heard anyone call
and that's the thing. As soon as I heard,
Because
exactly.
it's a PG version of what they would really be saying in a small
Right.
country town.
They've invented the PG thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit. It was just a bit too sugar-coated for me. It would have been. But it was funny. It was good.
Did you
it
find
wasn't
it
a bad
funny?
film.
It took me halfway till I laughed.
Yeah.
But I definitely laughed at times. There's some actually great characters, and the actors all do an amazing job. So,
Right, okay.
But what I believe also is there was no nuance. I mean, this could have been heartfelt in a way where you actually get genuine discrimination going on.
Yeah.
Where they actually genuinely have to turn people around in a genuine way, like it happens in the real world, where you have a neo-Nazi and a black person become best friends because a genuine relationship is formed. The friendships between the teammates happen almost immediately. And then it's just that strengthening and emboldening as opposed to them having to actually be paired together and not like each other off the bat and then slowly work it out.
Right.
The teammates all felt like they were all good. Everyone was a good guy. That's basically it. Everyone was a good guy except for two people who were the clear antagonists.
Right. It is this kind of film, which has been around a long time, does tread a very fine line because it's a worthwhile topic, it's a worthwhile theme, but if you do sugarcoat it, if you do treat it light, if you make it look too easy, then you're actually not doing that topic and that theme any service or justice whatsoever. Because if you are pretending that it's easy, that curing racism is easy, then that's bullshit.
Except, sorry, I was just going to say, except representation's important.
Yep, well, that's true. That's true.
So what we do get from this film as a genuine positive step is half that cast being people of colour, which we don't see enough in Australia, representing immigrants, not just, a lot of these actors probably have an Australian accent in real life,
right?
But within the film don't. We're seeing different cultures represented and different backgrounds. So there is an element that makes it easy to digest, which probably does for, we were talking about earlier, some audiences might make it easier for them to digest.
Yeah, they gave them personalities. They weren't just refugees. They were refugees with personalities. You don't see that very often in these type of films. So I like that.
I am very unfamiliar with this game.
How's your English?
English okay. Australian, not so good.
Is that your family?
No, this was already on wall when I come here. Of course this is my family. What do you think, Saeed, creepy man, put photo of strangers on walls?
Probably the one scene that gave me the most sort of gripes was, it was very over the top. This guy right here, Saeed, the main refugee from Syria, he's just scored this great goal and they go into the changing room. I mean, he's Muslim from Syria. And they're all like, yeah, you scored. And then they're like, yeah, Saeed. And they give him a beer and they're like, chug, 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 chug. And then Saeed slowly is like, no, I will not drink. No, and runs out, and it was so funny, but over the top. It was like that was the biggest conflict,
Yeah, the biggest conflict was respect my culture. I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
Don't force that on me.
And it was a bit like no one would do that. Oh come on. Oh no.
Now Christy, you said you might like it if you were younger. Do you think that's actually what it is, or could be, or where its worth lies? Like, could this actually be a film that 12-year-old boys might like that will also teach them something?
Or maybe not 12.
That 6-year-old boys might like and might also teach other refugees are people too?
I think maybe not 6, but maybe not 12, CJ.
Right. Is it acceptable for young kids?
Totally.
Right.
I would show this to primary school kids and they would love it, and it would be sort of...
Look, I think people should see it. I think it's a good film.
Okay.
I love a sports film, and it has elements that are like Remember the Titans. Yeah, okay. Except it's nowhere near at the level of Remember the Titans. That's the only problem. It's not enough sports movie, and there's not enough racial tension. Right. It's all just light. It's very light. Right. Okay.
Anyone who still hates you is a bloody idiot. I mean, look what you have done. You're amazing. Where is Aleppo?
What's left of it is in the north of Syria.
Yeah, because nothing's coming up on TripAdvisor.